Dear students, in this video we will be discussing about some special structures. Special structures which are associated with vowel. In the last class we have seen the structure of vowel. Okay, the typical vowel, that is bitegmic vowel, consists various parts. There are two integuments, in the center there will be a core tissue. This core tissue called megasporangium. These two are integuments. This is embryo sac. This stalk is called funicule. This unified tissue or combined tissue called chalaza region, where these two integuments are inserted. Okay, these integuments grown up to certain point and they leave some space at apex, which is appear like a pore called micropyle, which is useful for the pollen tube entry. Okay, here there will be an articulation called hilum. Okay, from this point to up to here it is called raphe. Okay, this is a structure of typical vowel, but here our discussion is some special structures which are associated with vowel structure. Means it is general common structure of vowel, but sometimes we can see some additional extra growths, some additional or extra growths in association with vowel. Those structures we will be discussing in this video. Very important. Okay, first we will make a list of all those extra structures. After that we will see in detail. Okay, those structures are, first one is aril. Second one is arillode. Third one is sarcotesta. Fourth one is endothelium. And next, integumentary embryos. Sixth one is operculum. Next, caruncle. Next, coma. Jaculator. Next, elaiosome. And next, obturator. Okay, these are the additional structures usually not found in a typical vowel, but in some plants or plant families we can see some additional growths or extra structures in association with vowel. Those structures we will discuss in this video. These are the additional structures found in different plants. Okay, these are all something like abnormalities. These are all not found in all plants. They are found in some special type of plants. Okay, that we will see one by one. First we will start with aril. Okay, And one more thing, of these 11 types, endothelium and obturator, these two are very important because these two are there in our syllabus. But at the same time, remaining all these things also very important because they are also part of vowel. That's why we have to understand that also. Okay. Now we will start with first one, that is aril. Okay. It is aril. Okay. This is a structure associated with integuments. Here, one more thing we have to remember, these all structures attach to vowel at some points. That is the main criteria for naming all these things. Okay? Aril somewhere attached here, arilode somewhere in other parts, sarcotesta it is associated with some other parts of vowel. Like this, based on their origin point on the vowel, different names have been given. Okay, the first one, it is aril. It is a structure associated with integuments. Okay, it is a type of integument outgrowth otherwise. Okay, where it is originated, what is the function, that we will see in this discussion. Okay, aril is the structure associated with the integuments. Okay, it is a structure associated with the integuments. First point. A scientist called Maheshwari, who is known as father of Indian embryology, he defined aril as a new structure that arises from the base of vowel. As per Maheshwari, he is defined that aril is a new structure that arises from the base of vowel. As per Maheshwari, he opined that aril is a new structure that is arises from the base of vowel. Exactly where aril will arises means this is vowel, right? As per Maheshwari opinion, the aril will be arises somewhere from here, from the funiculus. Now I am drawing LS diagram so that only one line I am drawing. Okay, here also. Okay, this part of vowel or this extra growth of vowel is called aril as per Maheshwari. This portion, we already know that vowel is nothing but seed, means it is a forerunner of seed. In the future it will give rise seed. Whenever the vowel turned into seed, this aril is placed outside to the seed, means for example after maturity this is seed, right? Okay, the aril will be present outside the seed like this. This is all aril. Like this, irregularly or regularly, it form a extra coating around seed, means it is appearing like an additional integument in the vowel, right? Because this is lower integument, this is outer integument, the aril covering the outer surface of outer integument, that's why it appearing like additional integument. Okay, additional integument. Even after maturity also it behave like a additional seed coat. Okay, this is aril. Okay, in the lychee, the best example is in the lychee we can see aril very clearly. In the lychee, whatever we eat or we prepare a juice from the lychee is nothing but aril. Okay, this is outer fruit coat, this is seed, this is aril in case of lychee fruit. Okay, it is myristica fragrans. The best example for aril formation we can see in myristica fragrans, okay, which is a spice. Okay, second one is lychee. It is also very best example to understand aril. Okay, these two are examples for aril. Okay, here we have to understand one more thing. As per some scientists, the aril has some evolutionary significance. Okay, there a scientist called Corner in 1949 to 1954. Okay, based on Corner opinion, the arillate families are primitive. Okay, the arillate families means whatever plants having aril, those families are called arillate families. Okay, as per Corner's opinion, arillate families are primitive in evolution. Okay, whatever the plants without aril, they are advanced. Without aril, those families are advanced as per Corner's opinion. Okay, but other scientists like Pizzle in 1952 and Parkin in 1953, these two scientists individually they opined that it is nowhere related to the phylogenetics. Okay, means it is irrespective of phylogenetics. Okay, here also one more thing, Corner also proposed one theory called durian theory. Okay, he proposed a theory, that is durian theory. According to this theory, he opined that arillate families are primitive families, without arillate families or advanced families. But as per Pizzle and Parkins, these scientists are opined that this is nowhere linked to the evolution. Okay, that is all about aril. Very important for your examination. Next, the second special structure is aril load. Okay, first of all, it is also a structure related or associated with integuments only. Okay, it is also a structure associated with integument only. Okay, first of all, a scientist called Pizzle in 1957, he observed a special structure which is associated with outer integument, growing from the tip of integument, and it is growing down like this. Okay, he observed a special outgrowth originating from tip of the outer integument, but later it is growing towards the funicular side like this, originating from here, and it is growing like this towards down. Okay, this structure he named as aril load. Means here the only difference between aril and aril load is, in case of aril originated from the base of funicule or base of ovule. Okay, from here it is growing in this direction. But in case of aril load, it is originating from the tip of integument or tip of ovule, from here, but growing in this direction. Okay, after maturity both are appear like similar, but based on the origin point these two are differentiated. Okay, either it is started from here or here. Based on that we have two types of special structures. Okay, it is called aril, it is called aril load. Okay, Pisil observed these aril load structures in many sapindaceous families. Sapindaceous families. Okay, he observed these structures in many sapindaceae members. And one more thing, here one more scientist called Cadre in 1946, he described the development of an aril in cardiospermum helicacabum. It is one twinning herb. Okay, in this plant Cadre observed the formation of aril. Okay, but later Pisil called them as, it is not aril, it is aril load. Means here there are mixed opinions related to these two things. Okay, because both structures are associated with integuments only, that's why sometimes there are mixed opinions. But the only difference between aril and aril load is aril started to originate from the base of oval. In case of aril load, it is started from the tip of outer integument. There is only major difference between these two things. After maturity, both are acting like a additional integument only. Okay, this is all about aril load. Okay, next coming to the third one, that is Sarcotesta. Sarcotesta. It is also associated structure with integument only. Okay, integuments. Okay, the outer integument of an oval sometimes become juicy or fleshy, and it is known as sarcotesta. Means the outer integument means this one. Okay, the typical oval consists two integuments, right? Inner integument, outer integument. In case of sarcotesta, what happening means the outer integument of oval sometimes become juicy or fleshy. Okay, so that at maturity, after formation of seed, the seed having some juicy outer layer. We can easily observe these structures in pomegranate. Okay, in the pomegranate we can see a juicy, a diamond like structures in pomegranate, right? This juicy structure is called sarcotesta. It is nothing but a modified outer integument. Okay, the outer integument reserve some materials like fats, okay, or pigmented materials, so that the outer integument appear like juicy or fleshy. Okay, this is common phenomenon in the members of family Magnoliaceae, but it is also observed in other plants like pomegranate also. Okay, these all structures means aril and aril load and sarcotesta. These three structures are associated with integuments. Okay, these three structures are associated with integuments. They are useful to the seed dispersal mechanism. Seed dispersal mechanism means whenever the birds and animals collect the seeds for their tasty aril or aril load or sarcotesta. Okay, after eating this sarcotesta or aril load or aril, the remaining part, okay, the seed is dispersed somewhere. Okay, that's why it is useful for the seed dispersal in some plants. Okay, that is one advantage of aril or arilode or sarcotesta. Okay, these three are associated structures with integuments only. Okay, that is very important to remember. Next, the fourth one is endothelium. Endothelium, it is also actually a structure or a modified structure associated with integument only, but it is little bit complex. Okay, means in some vowels mainly this endothelium we can observe in unitegmic vowels. Whatever the plants having unitegmic type of vowels, this endothelium usually we can observe. Okay, that's why I draw in here one unitegmic vowel. It is unitegmic vowel. Usually unitegmic vowel are found commonly in gamopetalae plants. Okay, we can also observe here the tenunucellate type of vowels also. Tenunucellate type of vowels means endothelium, it is a special structure observed in some plants, usually in unitegmic vowel containing plants. Where we can see unitegmic vowels means in mainly in gamopetalae plants, where the tenunucellate type of condition also present in the same plants. Okay, in this type of plants, here it is embryo sac. Okay, here the tenunucellate mean having only one layered cells of nucellus. This is nucellus, consist only one layer of cells. Okay, here only one integument. Here tenunucellate type of nucellus. Here what is endothelium means, in this type of vowels the inner epidermis of integument or the cells of inner layer of integument, they transform, enlarge and they behave like a endothelium. Means they just getting large in size with prominent nucleus and more number of reserve food materials. Okay, so that it appear like tapetum layer of anther wall. Okay, because here the cells of inner layer of integument increased in size and they store reserve food materials with prominent nucleus. They appear very prominent. Okay, which is very similar to the tapetum of anther wall. That's why it is also called as integumentary tapetum. Integumentary tapetum. What is the function of tapetum? Nutrition. Okay, in case of anther wall also it is useful for the nutrition or provide nutrition for the developing pollen grains. Here the structure is embryo sac. Means here the tapetum or integumentary tapetum is useful for the nourishment of embryo sac. Okay, here whenever the nucellus, because here we have only one single layer cells of nucellus. Okay, whenever the nucellus is completed or completely utilized by embryo sac, the embryo sac is become very close to this integumentary tapetum. At the time this tapetum will secrete some nutrients. Okay, that nutrients are useful for the growth of embryo sac. Okay, this is all about integumentary tapetum or endothelium. It is very important. Okay, here once again I will repeat. Here it is found in unitegmic vowels where the tenunucellate condition is present. these two are found in Gamopetalae plants. Here what happening means the ovals consist only one single integument. Okay, in that integument the inner layer of cells become very prominent in size and they acquired a prominent nucleus and also rich in nutrients. Okay, that nutrients are useful for the nourishment of embryo cell. Okay, whenever one layer of nucellus is completed, okay, completely utilized by embryo sac, further the endothelium act as a nourishment tissue for the growth of embryo sac. Okay, this is all about endothelium. Okay, next integumentary embryos. Integumentary embryos. Okay, the name itself indicate that the embryos arising from integumentary. Okay, now we'll see clearly what happening here. Okay, in some plants the inner integumentary cells near the micropyle means from here. Okay, I will draw one more diagram here. Again, this is oval, this is megasporangium. Okay, here inner integumentary cells near the micropyle gives rise to embryos means here some cells near micropyle here they are giving rise some embryo like structures. Okay, like this. It may be one or two or three. Usually from where embryo will develop? From egg cell. Okay, here in the embryo sac usually we can see egg apparatus in the micropylar region. Okay, from the center cell which is called as egg cell, in the latter stage we can see embryo development. Usually this is common phenomenon, usual phenomenon. But in addition to that, in some plants the cells from the inner integuments, okay, which is very close to the micropyle, they started to grow mitotically and they form embryo like structures. Okay, these structures are called integumentary embryos because instead of egg cell, here the embryo like structures are arising from the integument. That's why these structures are called integumentary embryos. We can see these structures in families like Apiaceae, Myrtaceae, okay, Rosaceae, etc. Okay, these structures are usually seen in Apiaceae, Myrtaceae, Rosaceae families. Okay, however, there are no reports of embryos arising from the outer integuments so far. Still now, there are no reports of embryos arising from the outer integuments. Okay, at present, we are only know that the inner integuments only sometimes they are producing some embryo-like structures near micropylar region. Okay, this is all about integumentary embryos. Okay, next, caruncle. Caruncle. It is otherwise known as strophiole. Strophiole, very important. Okay, the caruncle or strophiole is formed by the enlargement and proliferation of the cells of the outer integument. Okay, the caruncle or the strophiole is formed by the enlargement of outer integument cells, outer enlargement of cells of outer integuments. Caruncle or strophiole, the structure usually due to the enlargement of cells of outer integument. Okay, this is outer integument, right? I will draw here one more rough diagram. This is outer integument, inner integument. This is nucellus. This is inner integument. This is outer integument. Okay, in case of caruncle, what happening means some cells from the outer integument, they are enlarging in size. Okay, This enlarged cells or cell layer is called as caruncle or strophiole. Okay, it is very common phenomenon in family Euphorbiaceae. In family Euphorbiaceae, we can see caruncle or strophiole. It is useful for the seed dispersal. Seed dispersal. Okay. Next, coma. Coma. Coma usually we can see in family Apocynaceae or Asclepiadaceae. Asclepiadaceae. Okay. In the members of Apocynaceae or Asclepiadaceae, a tuft of hairs or coma is seen originating from the integumentary tissue near the funiculus. Means this is ovule. These two are integuments. Okay. In the ovules of family Apocynaceae and Asclepiadaceae, we can see a tuft of hairs originating from the integumentary tissue near the funicule. Here it is funicule. Near funicule, from the integuments, okay, from here, tuft of hairs, or okay, in the latter stage, this complete structure act as seed, right? At maturity, the ovule converted as seed. It is seed. Okay, this coma will be persistent like this. Okay, here what is the function of coma? It is also useful for the seed dispersal. Means this coma, it is very weightless, so that it is behaving like a parachute for the seed. Okay, due to this coma, it is transported from the one place to the another place through wind. Okay, through this transportation, the seed dispersal is taking place. That is the advantage of coma. The length of coma, it is depends on the plant species. Okay, this is about coma. Next, jaculator. Jaculator. What is jaculator means? In family called Acanthaceae, some of the funicular cells, here it is funicule, right? Some cells from the funicule, okay, elongate and differentiated into stiff hook-like structure like this. Okay, stiff hook-like structure or outgrowth known as jaculator, which is found in family Acanthaceae. Means in the ovules of Acanthaceae, some cells from the funicule, okay, they differentiated into stiff hook-like outgrowth known as jaculator. Okay, it aids in the expulsion of the seeds from the fruit, means to the fruit dehiscence. Okay, fruit dehiscence. You can see these jaculator structures in seeds of Acanthaceae. We can see with naked eye also in the seeds of some Acanthaceae members, we can see structures like this. Okay, hook-like structures. After maturity also, we can see this type of outgrowths. This outgrowth is originating from the funicule. That we have to remember. Jaculator, the structures are arised from the funiculus. Okay, origin from the funicule or funiculus. This is about jaculator. Okay, next, elaiosome. Elaiosome. Elaiosome, an outgrowth developing from raphe or the hilum. Okay, we know where the hilum is in the ovule. It is ovule. Okay, it is hilum point. This portion is called raphe. Okay, in some plants we can see some additional growth from the either hilum or from the raphe. Okay, from these points in some plants some additional growth may be happen. Okay, that additional growth reserve some food materials. Okay, after maturity or after seed dispersal, what happen, the ants or small insect, due to this tasty material, they carry the seeds from one place to the another place. Okay, that's why it is also useful for the seed dispersal. Okay, it is also useful for the seed dispersal because this tissue store food material so that the ants and small animals take that seeds and carry from one place to the another. Okay, these elaiosome structures we can see in family Amaryllidaceae, and Liliaceae and Pepaveraceae. Okay, here we have to remember one thing only, a special structure which is a tissue is arising from the either hilum or raphe. Okay, here also there are some mixed opinions. Some people believe that it may be carbuncle or strophyllum, but some people believe that it is elaiosome. Okay, the only function is seed dispersal. It is useful for the seed dispersal because it store reserve food material so that the ants and small insects collect for their food, so that the seeds will be transport one place to another place, so that it will indirectly useful for the seed dispersal. Okay, next, very important, obturator. Okay, it is the structure which is generally associated with the function of directing the growth of pollen tube. Okay, the structure which is useful for the directing the pollen tube towards micropyle. Okay, this is oval. Okay, this is oval. Where we can see obturator means, usually the basic origin point of obturator is funicule only. Okay, funicule. Okay, it is originated from funicule like this. Sometimes it may be from the hilum, or sometimes it may be from the outer integuments, sometimes it may be from the placenta, sometimes it may be even from the stylar tissue also. Here from the stylar tissue also obturator may be originated like this. Okay, whatever it may be, the only function of obturator is it is useful to direct the pollen tube towards micropyle. Okay, actually it is obturator which is very close to the micropyle. It is nothing but a tissue which is originated from the funicule or placenta or hilum or integuments, or sometimes ovary walls, or sometimes even from the stylar tissue also. Okay, whatever it may be, the only function is it will useful to direct the growth of pollen tube towards micropyle, because here the pollen tube should release sperms. That's why this structure, it is believed that it will useful to direct pollen tube. Okay, for example, obturator we can see in Cuscutaceae, Euphorbiaceae. Okay, this obturator we can see in family Cuscutaceae and Euphorbiaceae. Okay, here the important thing is from where it is originating. That is first point. It is originating usually from the funicule, first point. But additionally, sometimes it may be originating from the different parts of ovary also. Means it may be either hilum, or it may be outer integument, inner integument, or inner wall of ovary, or stylar tissue. Okay, like this the origin point may be vary, but usual origin point is funicle. Okay, or the base of, in case of sessile vowels, it is originating from the base of vowels, means where the hilum and placenta meet. From here in the sessile vowels, the obturator is originating from this point. Okay, this is all about obturator. And here we forgot one more thing, that is operculum. Operculum. Usually the term operculum is used for the structure which is similar to the lid or a cap like. Okay. Here in some plants, a scientist called Hegel Mayer in 1868, he observed a stopper-like structure in the vowels of lemna plant. In the lemna plant vowels, he observed a stopper-like structure. Stopper means here it is vowel, these two are integument, this is nucellus zone. Okay, this is vowel, right? Hegel Mayer observed a stopper-like structure at the micropylar regions of lemna vowels. Here it is a stopper-like structure. Further, it is identified that it is a additional tissue which is arising from the tip of inner integument and also sometimes the outer integument also. Okay, it is a stopper-like structure which is present at the micropylar end of vowel, first observed by Hegel Mayer in lemna plant. Okay, usually the cells of operculum are thick-walled and pink in color. Okay, and we can also see operculum structure in families like Araceae and Droseraceae. Okay, first observed in plant lemna. After that, it is also observed in family Araceae and Droseraceae. Okay, this is all about operculum. Okay, now we have seen all 11 types of special structures which are associated with vowels. Okay, these are functioning various functions in the vowel development or after maturity of vowel also. Okay, thank you.